Surah Yasin.
Okay. Also, how was Imam Ali's grave discovered, as he didn't want people to know where he was buried?
Shaykh al-Mufid mentions this about how the grave of the Imam Salamullah alayhi was discovered. And actually I mentioned to some people yesterday, and for benefit I'll mention again. It was up until the time of the 6th Imam Salamullah alayhi that people weren't aware where the grave of Amir al-Mu'mineen is. It was only during that time onwards that people realized that he's buried in Najaf. For obvious reasons, because of the enmity that people had against the holy Imam Salamullah alayhi. He didn't want people to know, because like what they would have done with Az-Zahra Salamullah alayha, there was a chance they would have done that to the holy Imam Salamullah alayhi, which is why it was delayed. Two things but one thing before I answer that question. One of the interesting reports in this regard is the report for Ziyarat Aminullah. Because if you read Ziyarat Aminullah was recited initially by Imam Zainul Abidin salawatullahi wasalamu alayhi, alongside Imam al-Baqir. They would go together, they would leave Medina, and they would travel themselves to Najaf and recite the ziyarah. In this ziyarah, what do you notice? It begins like a normal ziyarah. Assalamu alayka ya amin Allah fi ardhi wa hujjatahu ala ibadi. Assalamu alayka ya amir al-mu'mineen. Ashhadu annaka ja'adta fillahi haqqa jihadi wa amalta bi kitabih. واتبعت سنن نبيه حتى دعاك الله إلى جواره فقبضك إليه باختياره وألزم أعداءك الحجة بما لك من الحجج البالغة على جميع خلقه. It's like a normal ziyarah. Suddenly then it changes. And what does it change into? A dua. So it starts like a normal ziyarah. I bear witness this, and you did this, and you did that. Suddenly it changes. Allahumma faj'al nafsi mutma'innatan biqadarik radiyatan biqada'ik. So why does it start as a ziyarah? And then it changes into a dua. So the answer that is given is that when Imam Zainul Abidin was reciting this ziyarah, of course no one knows where the grave of Imam Ali is. A few people saw him standing somewhere and reciting something. They came behind him so that they could hear what he was reciting. He doesn't want them to know that this is the grave of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So he cuts his ziyarah short and turns it into a dua. Because if these people had heard it, they'd realize Imam Ali is buried here, they would have spread it. And again, as I said, they tried to remove him from his grave or what have you. That's why you have Ziyarat Aminullah that starts off as a ziyarah and changes into what? A dua and supplication. And both parts, the part of the ziyarah and the part of the dua, have a lot of ma'rifah hidden within them. As for the question, how was it found out? During the time of Harun al-Rashid, Harun goes out hunting. There are a number of ahadith which say that any animal which comes in that province of Najaf al-Ashraf and the hills around Najaf al-Ashraf is safe from being killed by another animal. So Harun had dogs for hunting, and these dogs were hunting another animal, a deer or something like that. And Harun says that these dogs would be running after these deer, or there was one deer in particular, and it would reach these hills of Najaf, and the dog would stop. And the dog wouldn't enter and go further. Then the deer would come out of that province of Najaf, the dogs would start running once again, until the deer would reach that province and they would stop. So he's thinking, what is this area? It's like a border that has been drawn around this area. Whenever these animals are there, the dog can't go in. And the dog cannot harm that which is there. So they ask around until a person who was aware and was told, of course the followers of Ahlul Bayt were told, he informs him that this is the grave of Amir al-Mu'mineen sallallahu alayhi. And from that point onwards, the Imam alayhi wassalatu wassalam told people publicly that this is where the holy Imam sallallahu alayhi is buried. This was during the time of Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam.
Thank you, Sheikh.